Hello guys, I'm back with another video installment, and this time I'm going to talk about one particular email or comment. I'm not really sure what it was because it got deleted somehow. Believe me, it doesn't happen often. It's one of the rare exceptions because normally I would approve all comments on my blog and respond to them, and same goes with my YouTube video comments, right? But this one somehow got deleted and eventually I couldn't find the original comment. All I remember was that a person asked me whether it's possible to become totally fluent after 24 years spent in an English-speaking country. And as an example, he attached a video to his email or comment, whatever it was. It was a YouTube video, and I found that video in my YouTube history, so thank God the evidence was still there and I could watch the video again, and it doesn't really matter that the comment got deleted because the video was there, so I could watch it once more and I could think the question through. And basically this is my answer. First of all, those people in the video, I think they're based in India, and they're professional TV hosts and journalists, and that lingo that they use is used by them every day on a daily basis, and that's what they do. That's their profession. That's how they make their living. And believe me, if you don't even need 25 years. If you spend a couple of years in a particular industry, you would know that industry inside out, and all that terminology, all that phraseology, all that professional lingo would become second nature to you in no time. You see, I think it's sometimes quite deceptive. We look at foreigners working in different industries. They might be celebrities in English-speaking countries or whatever, and we look at them and we admire them for their ability to speak fluently in that environment, and we put ourselves in their shoes, and we think that we would never be able to pull it off, because we're stuck in our jobs. We have certain social certain circle of people we communicate with on a regular basis. Our social contacts are quite limited. Well, most of our contacts anyway. I'm not talking about some celebrity who might be watching me at the moment. I'm talking about normal people, the average Joes, working 9-to-5 jobs like me and most of you. So we look at those people and we think, wow, we would never be able to do something like that, But it's their particular lives that are so much different that actually make them speak English fluently in those related spheres, you know what I mean? It's all about what you do, and it reflects on your English, For example, I'm a dispatch clerk at work, and I work in a warehouse, but my work duties are not actually limited only to warehouse duties. I run all around the place. I liaise with managers, and I'm in charge of certain customers, and I have to make sure that the production process happens smoothly and that the orders are sent out on time and that the deadlines are met. And I also maintain a database, and I have to create new products and product codes, and all the product specifications have to be the same exact as submitted by the customer. And I could keep talking and talking on hours, no end, because 4 hours on end, sorry, this is a mistake that I made, and watch this video to find out what I think about making mistakes. It's natural and it's no big deal, and just the fact that I'm a mentor, fluency mentor, and I'm giving you advice doesn't mean that I'm not making mistakes, and I'm not going to edit out that particular mistake, because it just goes to show that it's natural and it's normal for everyone, no one's perfect. Anyway, going back to the topic of this video, where was I? Yes, I could talk for hours on end about my particular job specifics, and so could you definitely, whether you work in a grocery shop or a petrol station, whatever, you could definitely talk about your particular job-related things freely, just like the guys in the TV studio, those journalists. And so the main question was, is it possible to become fluent in 25 years? Of course, it's possible to become fluent in 10, in 5, in 3 years' time, in a year's time. If you are thrown into a completely English-speaking environment where you are forced to soak up the language and basically you have no choice, it's whether you learn it or you have no options, basically, The failure is not an option in this case. So whether you will be working in a TV-related industry, in entertainment industry, in a highly technical job where you'd have to acquire lots of technical vocabulary. Probably some of you are computer programmers or whatever, so definitely you are capable of speaking about your particular scope and things that you do on a daily basis fluently. You can speak fluently about them, and that's the whole point, It's about who you are, what you do on a regular basis, and that determines your fluency. You can't possibly be fluent about everything. I bet that, I'd better not bet because I'm not a lucky guy and I could very well actually lose that bet, but if those two guys from the TV studio were thrown into into a gym environment, I'm not making claims that they're not working out or whatever, but I just couldn't think of another example, into an environment to which they're not used to, right? I bet you that they wouldn't be able to speak as fluently as they do, because they're following current affairs and politics and economic news and all that related. Language is just second nature to them, and that's why they're fluent. And for example, I can speak about English fluency and confidence and all the related issues very fluently, Whereas if you asked me about professional baseball or football or whatever, I would be hesitating the whole time, If you were trying to maintain a conversation with me about some very important game that happened a few days ago in what's the most important sports event in terms of baseball in the States, some sort of a cup, some kind of, I just can't, you see? I totally lack knowledge in the field, so I don't even know what the cup is called, so I don't even know all the terms, like, I only know that there's a baseball bat, a ball, and then the ball is thrown, and you can throw curved balls and things like that, but I'm not professional. You don't have to be a professional, but I'm not well versed in those terms, so I would be far from being fluent if I had to discuss those things with someone who's really into them, right? So the answer is you can become fluent in a year's time if you are actually living and working in that particular industry. And you might struggle and never become fluent in 25 years if you don't take any interest in the topic. And so basically you just can't you can't just develop the ability to speak about everything and be fluent in all aspects of life just like that, just out of thin air, It just doesn't come like that. It's all about practice, regular practice, and I bet that those guys are talking about politics day in and day out. And that's why they're so fluent, and their fluency is native-like. And who's to say that they're not actually native English speakers? Maybe they've been speaking the English language since they were 4 or 5 years old. For all I know, many Indians are fluent English speakers because English is an official language correct me if I'm wrong, but there are many regions where it's the second language, and not only the second language in terms of social life and so on and so forth, but it's nearly an official language. So probably those guys have a native-like fluency, which is developed from an early age, right? So that's my answer, and thanks for watching this video, and see you soon again, guys. Bye.